Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A system of high-tension cables by which electrical power is distributed throughout a region. A perforated or corrugated metal plate used in a storage battery as a conductor and support for the active material. An electrode placed between the cathode and anode of a vacuum tube to control the flow of electrons through the tube. A cooking utensil of parallel metal bars, used to grill fish or meat. A pattern of regularly spaced horizontal and vertical lines. A system of high-tension cables by which electrical power is distributed throughout a region. A system of high-tension cables by which electrical power is distributed throughout a region. A perforated or corrugated metal plate used in a storage battery as a conductor and support for the active material. An electrode placed between the cathode and anode of a vacuum tube to control the flow of electrons through the tube. A cooking utensil of parallel metal bars, used to grill fish or meat. The playing field on which football is played. The act of installing something, as equipment. The telephone installation took only a few minutes. A building or place that provides a particular service or is used for a particular industry. A formal entry into an organization or position or office. He gave a speech as part of his installation into the Hall of Fame. A building or place that provides a particular service or is used for a particular industry. The assembly plant is an enormous facility. A natural effortlessness. They conversed with great facility. Skillful performance or ability without difficulty. He was famous for his facility as an archer. A service that an organization or a piece of equipment offers you. A cell phone with internet facility. Something designed and created to serve a particular function and to afford a particular convenience or service. Baseball. Base consisting of a rubber slab where the batter stands. It must be touched by a base runner in order to score. A metal sheathing of uniform thickness, such as the shield attached to an artillery piece to protect the gunners. A flat sheet of metal or glass on which a photographic image can be recorded. A shallow receptacle for collection in church. The quantity contained in a plate. A dental appliance that artificially replaces missing teeth. A rigid layer of the Earth's crust that is believed to drift slowly. A full-page illustration, usually on slick paper. A main course served on a plate. A vegetable plate. Any flat plate-like body structure or part. A sheet of metal or wood or glass or plastic. Coat with a layer of metal. Plate spoons with silver. Dish on which food is served or from which food is eaten. Structural member consisting of a horizontal beam that provides bearing and anchorage. The positively charged electrode in a vacuum tube. The thin under portion of the forequarter. A conductor used to make electrical contact with some part of a circuit. A kitchen utensil made of material that does not melt easily, used for cooking. A kitchen utensil made of material that does not melt easily, used for cooking. The visual appearance of something or someone. A perceptual structure. Make something, usually for a specific function. Shape a figure. A concrete representation of an otherwise nebulous concept. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. He could barely make out their shapes. The state of good health, especially in the phrases in condition, or in shape, or out of condition, or out of shape. Shape or influence. Give direction to. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spatial arrangement of something is distinct from its substance. Geometry is the mathematical science of shape. The supreme headquarters that advises NATO on military matters and oversees all aspects of the Allied Command Europe. Give shape or form to. Shape the dough. The visual appearance of something or someone. A perceptual structure. The composition presents problems for students of musical form. The phonological or orthographic sound or appearance of a word that can be used to describe or identify something. The inflected forms of a word can be represented by a stem in a list of inflections to be attached. Make something, usually for a specific function. Any spatial attributes, especially as defined by outline. Establish or impress firmly in the mind. A body of students who are taught together. Create, as an entity. Social groups form everywhere. Biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A category of things distinguished by some common characteristic or quality. Sculpture is a form of art. A life-size dummy used to display clothes. Develop into a distinctive entity. Alternative names for the body of a human being. The spatial arrangement of something is distinct from its substance. To compose or represent. This wall forms the background of the stage setting. Give shape or form to. Form the young child's character. Physical chemistry. A distinct state of matter in a system. Matter that is identical in chemical composition and physical state and separated from other material by the phase boundary. A mold for setting concrete. They built elaborate forms for pouring the foundation. An ability to perform well. He was at the top of his form. An arrangement of the elements in a composition or discourse. The essay was in the form of a dialogue. A particular mode in which something is manifested. His resentment took the form of extreme hostility. A printed document with spaces in which to write. He filled out his tax form. Assume a form or shape. The water formed little beads. A customary way of operation or behavior. They changed their dietary pattern. A perceptual structure. A visual pattern must include not only objects but the spaces between them. Something intended as a guide for making something else. A pattern for a skirt. A decorative or artistic work. The path that is prescribed for an airplane that is preparing to land at an airport. The traffic patterns around O'Hare are very crowded. Something regarded as a normative example. Graphical representation, in polar or Cartesian coordinates, of the spatial distribution of radiation from an antenna as a function of angle. Plan or create according to a model or models. A model considered worthy of imitation. The American Constitution has provided a pattern for many republics. Form a pattern. These sentences pattern like the ones we studied before. A pattern of horizontal and vertical lines that provide coordinates for locating points on an image or a map. A pattern of small boxes that is used for self-monitoring by patients who have age-related macular degeneration. A terrorist network intensely opposed to the United States that dispenses money and logistical support and training to a wide variety of radical Islamic terrorist groups, has cells in more than 50 countries. Of low birth or station, base, is archaic in this sense. Base-born wretches with dirty faces. Use purified cocaine, by burning it and inhaling the fumes. Lowest support of a structure. It was built on a base of solid rock. A support or foundation. The base of the lamp. The most important or necessary part of something. A place that the runner must touch before scoring. Illegitimate. Numeration system, the positive integer that is equivalent to 1 in the next higher counting place. A phosphoric ester of a nucleoside, the basic structural unit of nucleic acids, DNA or RNA. A lower limit. Serving as or forming a base. The painter applied a base coat followed by 2 finishing coats. The fundamental assumptions from which something is begun or developed or calculated or explained. Linguistics, the form of a word after all affixes are removed. The place where you are stationed and from which missions start and end. The stock of basic facilities and capital equipment needed for the functioning of a country or area. The industrial base of Japan. Having or showing an ignoble lack of honor or morality. That liberal obedience without which your army would be a base rabble. Any of various water-soluble compounds capable of turning litmus blue and reacting with an acid to form a salt and water. Bases include oxides and hydroxides of metals and ammonia. Not adhering to ethical or moral principles. Base and unpatriotic motives. Installation from which a military force initiates operations. The attack wiped out our forward bases. Use as a basis for, found on. Base a claim on some observation. A flat bottom on which something is intended to sit. A tub should sit on its own base. Anatomy, the part of an organ nearest its point of attachment. The base of the skull. Debased, not genuine. An attempt to eliminate the base coinage. Electronics, the part of a transistor that separates the emitter from the collector. Situate as a center of operations. We will base this project in the new lab. The bottom or lowest part. The base of the mountain. The bottom side of a geometric figure from which the altitude can be constructed. The base of the triangle. The principal ingredient of a mixture. Glycerinated gelatin is used as a base for many ointments. Used of metals, consisting of or alloyed with inferior metal. Base coins of aluminum. The basic structure or features of a system or organization. The stock of basic facilities and capital equipment needed for the functioning of a country or area. A voltaic battery that stores electric charge. Computer science. A register that has a built-in adder that adds an input number to the contents of the register. A person who is employed to collect payments, as for rent or taxes. A voltaic battery that stores electric charge. A hollow cylindrical shape. Anatomy: any hollow cylindrical body structure. An electric railway operating below the surface of the ground, usually in a city. In Paris, the subway system is called the metro, and in London it is called the tube, or the underground. Conduit consisting of a long hollow object, usually cylindrical, used to hold and conduct objects or liquids or gases. Electronic device consisting of a system of electrodes arranged in an evacuated glass or metal envelope. Convey in a tube. Inside Paris, they used to tube mail. Place or enclose in a tube. Provide with a tube or insert a tube into. Ride or float on an inflated tube. We tubed down the river on a hot summer day. Electronic device consisting of a system of electrodes arranged in an evacuated glass or metal envelope. Electronic device consisting of a system of electrodes arranged in an evacuated glass or metal envelope. Electronic device consisting of a system of electrodes arranged in an evacuated glass or metal envelope. Electronic device consisting of a system of electrodes arranged in an evacuated glass or metal envelope. Electronic device consisting of a system of electrodes arranged in an evacuated glass or metal envelope. Cable used to distribute electricity. Cable used to distribute electricity. An electrical generating station. An electrical generating station.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.